Hey y'all, welcome back to my shop. I am the Backwoods Modeler. As you can see, I'm several deep on these M2 square body crew cabs. I've got several of them now. I got lucky. I was in West Virginia for a week, and I stopped in Summersville, West Virginia, and I was able to get lucky, and I found 2 full sets. And then on the way home, stopped again in Morgantown, West Virginia, and I got lucky again and found 2 more complete full sets. So I've already gotten rid of 1 set. I got another one that a buddy has, and then I'm going to list 1 set on eBay here real soon. So y'all keep looking out for that. So right now I just wanted to show a quick little update on what I've got going on here, and then we're going to go into a full build. I don't think I'm going to be able to finish this build on 1 video. I may have to break it up into 2, but we'll go and see how it goes and go from there. I'm working on a pair of twins. This was my original dually that I built, my M2 dually. Well, I didn't build it really necessarily. I just swapped the chassis on it. It was already black, had Coke stamped all over it. I took one of the Fanta caps and I put it on here, and as you can see, I sprayed it black. It's a little dusty. I should have wiped these off a little bit, but I didn't. Hey, look, I cleaned the table, y'all. Anyway, this was one of my original ones that I built. I have this Chevrolet hood on here. I'm still not 100% sure if that's going to stay there. I do still have the original hood for this, and I may end up putting it back on. As you can see, I got to do a little tweaking on the push bar. It's bent out a little bit. Very rarely do these M2 push bars come that you don't have to do something to them. So I got that one, and then this one I've already swapped the chassis on. This one I just still have to get the Coke stuff off of it, and then that one will be almost a twin. I don't know if I'm going to paint another black cap or not. I don't know. Like I said, I just painted that one black. I think it looks pretty sweet like that. The only problem is with this, the window. The good thing is the windows come right out of this. Unlike the green lights that they're all clear plastic and then they just paint them. This one I was able to pop the windows out. It made it a lot easier for me to paint. But you can still see, let me wipe it off on my shirt here a little bit real quick. You can still faintly see, I don't know if it's going to show up on camera. Yeah, the stripes, see the stripes across the top? That is the orange stripes that are on this one. So you can still faintly see the stripes that are in there through the paint. But trying to take this paint off is sometimes a nightmare because being plastic, the acetone sometimes will melt into the plastic and makes the plastic real soft. So I try not to use acetone on plastic. Alright, so get those pushed out of the way. Let's move on to something different. This one, nothing has changed on that yet. I am going to redo this truck. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Like I said, I've been out of town. I just literally got back 2 days ago. My other dually, single cab dually, that one's almost done. I've still got to finish that one up yet. It took me 3 weeks, but I finally got the mirrors that I ordered. I guess his back order super busy. I got the period correct mirrors for those square body trucks. I got these from Portland Car Lover, and I found him on Instagram. So I got 5 sets of those, so all I have to do is paint those up and start putting those on, and then those trucks will just about be set. I'm also considering putting a set of those on this Dodge because those will probably look pretty good on here too. Alright guys, so let's move into the project. First of all, put this mirror back in the baggie before I lose it or break it. Those are only about, I don't know, remember, $5 a pair maybe, I think. I got 5 sets of them. 1, 2, 3. I already got 5 of them used right here. Okay guys, so this is what I'm going to do today. I'm going to make a Crewcab tow truck. We are going to take everything Fanta off of this truck, obviously. They're not completely 100% white match. The truck is a little bit brighter white than the bed is, but I still think it's going to turn out okay. I am going to use, this was on a, I believe a 19 or 21, 18 Dodge Ram 3500. So that's the chassis we're going to use. This is a die-cast chassis, so this is a lot tougher to use than, say, the plastic ones. So this is going to take a lot of cutting and hacking. First things we're going to do is, the bed goes on here just a certain way, so we don't want to touch anything where the bed goes. So all of that is what you call off limits. What I do not want on here is I want these running boards off, and in order to make the cab fit on here, we got to cut these huge fender wells off, and then we're going to have to cut this bumper off of here, because this is the bottom of the bumper of the Ram that we're going to use. So we're going to cut all this stuff off. You could probably use several different options. I find the best option is to use my Dremel, and I have a cutoff wheel on it. As you can see, it's well used. This is what I use to make all my cuts with. You younger guys and gals, be careful, because this is kind of a dangerous tool. It can get away from you, so be careful if you're going to use this. If you're young, you might want to get an adult to help you out. Anyway, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and make these cuts, because this thing is super loud and noisy. This is going to take me several minutes to do, and I don't want to waste time on camera doing that. So like I said, I'm going to cut these running boards off. I'm just going to take my Dremel in on the back side, and I'm just going to cut and knock that off on both sides. And then I'm going to cut the front bumper off of here, cut the fender wells off. Another tip is always take the tires off, because if you do not remove the tires, especially with this Dremel, I can guarantee you're going to nick it and you're going to ruin it. So you always want to get your wheels and tires off there before you do that. And what I do is I just hold one side, spin the other one, and several times till it gets nice and soft, and just slowly pull. Sometimes it comes right off, sometimes it don't. And there's another way you can cheat. Sometimes I get impatient. You can slip my side cuts underneath there. Be careful, I'm knocking stuff over. And you can pry, and that'll pull it off too. So that's the quick, easy way to do that. We're not going to take the back wheels off, because we're not doing anything to the back. Right now we're just going to cut the fender wells, or yeah, like I told you, the fender wells, running boards, the bumper, and I'll be right back. Hold on. Alright y'all, so I got this cut. Looks a little frosty. It's because I just pulled it out of the freezer. That's a trick I use. So when this gets too hot from the Dremel, I stick it in I got a little fridge here, I stick it in the freezer to cool it off. But you can see there's the bumper. We cut the bumper off. We stuck a nice straight line across the back, hacked the front of that off. Got both the side or the running boards. Both of those are cut off. And we cut both the fender wells off. You can see how that's nice and flat and straight across the bottom. You want to get that as nice and flat and straight as you can. Makes the next process a lot easier. So what you do now is we need to stick this bed back on here, because again, that part is not changing. Then we're going to stick the cab on here, and I can already see the problem we're going to have here, as I need to cut these off real quick. So give me 1 minute and I'll be back with those. Alright guys, so I got that cut off, and while I was at it, I cut this tab off here that housed the rivet, because it was going to be in the way too. So I'm going to put this on here now, and when you're modifying trucks like this, you got to, first of all, you got to keep the truck in focus so people can see what you're doing. This is all modification. I'm working at this. I don't know what's going to work until I try it. So since I've put this together and I've gotten this far, you see how short the front end is. I don't think this is going to work for us. put the wheels back on here, and they might work. It's going to be really close if this works. But anyway, I got this all cut. So now the next process is getting shims in here to make this fit, because we want this to be as level as possible. So you see how the truck cab sets is going to depend on how your shims are. So we don't want it too high to where it's going to show that. We don't want it too low to where it looks like the front end's leaning. So you got to find that happy medium here. So we're going to get some shims in there, and what I normally use is a combination of popsicle sticks and some polystyrene sheets when I really want to just get it up just a tiny bit. The polystyrene sheets help to get that little tiny bit that you need, where the popsicle sticks, where sometimes 2 is way too much. So that's the next process here. I'm going to do that, and then I'm also going to, while I've off camera, I'm going to go ahead and wipe everything off of the cab, all the Fanta stuff, because you've seen me do a video of that. I don't need to bore you while I'm doing that. So I'm going to cut some shims, get this cleaned up, get the interior back in, and then I'll be back. Alright y'all, you can see I got everything cleaned off of here. Went ahead and put the wheels on here just to save a step, and as you can see, we're not going to line up. This is not going to work. So I have 2 options. Either I'm going to have to cut this and stretch it, or I'm going to hope that I can use the original chassis that came with the dually. And as you can see, that's not going to work either. So we are going to have to do some stretching here. So in order to make this look correct, I'm going to get another Dodge Ram chassis and use it so that it all matches from front to back. Since I do not have a Chevy dually chassis, you know what, let me look. I might have another chassis for this. Maybe we'll still use this one. So let me find another chassis to use, guys, and I'll be right back. Alright guys and gals, I think I found us another donor chassis. As you can see, these 2 chassis are just about identical. Well, this one's got a few more bars in it, but these are just about identical as in ride height. So, well, actually this one's slammed, but we'll fix that. I'm going to take this off right quick. I'll show you the truck that I'm using here 1 second. Some may agree, some may not agree. The main reason I bought this truck is I just wanted to bed off of it. So this is what we're going to use for our donor chassis. It's my 70s, it doesn't say. Yeah, it does. 75 GMC. So we're going to pop this apart, and we're going to take the chassis off of this. So sometimes they put a 3rd screw in there, y'all. You got to watch for that 3rd screw. So off we come. Alright. Now we're off. Get that over there. So now we're going to get ready, and we're going to do some hacking on this. But before we do any hacking on this, what we're going to do is I'm going to probably just use a piece out of this chassis. I'm going to use most of this chassis as I can, and then wherever I stretch it at, I'll cut a piece out of this and put in there to cover whatever I need to cover up. Make sense? Made sense in my head. Okay, so we're going to put this on here, and then what I'll do is I'll put a screw in here to hold this into place, and then I'll put this on here and see how this works. But you know what, we might change this. We might do a total change here, y'all. I think I might still use the back half of this truck and just use the front half of this truck. See how that works. So give me a minute here and to figure this out, guys, and I'll be right back. All right, y'all, so it's been a lot of hassling, fuss and hustle and bustle, and that's what we're going to end up looking like. Obviously, not exactly. I still got to glue everything together yet, but I finally got the chassis and everything cut. What we decided to do is I decided to stay with the back half of the Ram, switch it out with the front half of the Crewcab dually. So as you can see right here where I cut it, once I get that glued together, that won't be as noticeable. It's a nice straight flat cut, which is what you want to do. I decided to where I was going to cut it, I split the cab in half, and that's where I cut it at. I'm still using the original screw here in the front, so that's what's holding the front together. And then once I get everything in, we'll also glue in the interior. That'll help when I glue the chassis to the interior. That'll help hold everything in there since the interior is glued in also. And then the back half, we just have to line that up, get that where we want it. And then we may have to put a little shim in the back or so, because there was some shims in there that fit the Dodge cab that didn't work for the Chevy cab, so I had to change them. And now it's got a little bit of wobble to it, so I got to fix that real quick. So we're just about done with that right now. As you can see, I took all the decals off. I had to take the bumper and the grill off because it's got this orange stripe across here I had to get rid of. So now that that's done, I see got the hood cleaned off. So we'll get this all glued together, guys and gals, and then I'll be back with you. So like I said, I got this all together. I think instead of coming back right away, I think we're going to change this now to a part 2, because I'm going to have to sit and let this dry for a little while anyhow. So let me just end this video here, and we'll make it a part 2. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, check my eBay store out, and don't forget to come back. Y'all have a good day.